Today I'm doing Swiss chard, which is high in vitamin K and has a number of very good minerals in it, so it's an excellent addition if you like to make greens powder to add to your health drinks. And it's also very popular in Italian cooking. Now, I just started cutting that with a knife. The reason for that is I want to show you why I choose to use scissors, because it's so much easier. So I'll just use scissors and take this white vein out. That's going to be used later. You can eat that as well. Out it goes, up to about there. Just take out the fat parts. And if there's any side bit here that you want to take out, you just use the same principle and take that out there. And then you're left with that. Now, just to mention that Swiss chard has high oxalate levels. It's one of the vegetables that's very high in oxalates. And oxalates tend to not be good for people who have kidney stones, and also not for people who have osteoporosis, because the oxalic acid in this vegetable, when it gets into the gut, it binds with calcium and it stops calcium absorption into the bone marrow, which obviously you need for if you have osteoporosis, and also leads to the formation of further kidney stones. So what you do with this, if you want to avoid that danger, is to blanch the leaves, and I've done a couple here. And the way you do this is boiling water, pop it in, count to 100, take it out, and then you get something like that, okay, which is then dehydrated, and that will be probably up to about 60% lower in oxalates. And here I have the blanched leaves laid out ready on a tray to go into the dehydrator. And here I have already cut leaves which I've soaked in my wash. If you look up my video on how to prepare vegetables for dehydrating, it will give you everything you need to know. So that's been soaking in there for 5 minutes. That's ready to go on a tray and to be popped into the dehydrator and dried. So I'll come back and show you when I've dried these what the dried looks like. And last but not least, you can also dry this, and it has the same nutritional value as the leaves. It's just because it's a lot thicker, it takes longer to cook, so it's quite useful for adding to stews or anything that's going to be cooked over a long period of time. And you just clean it up a little. If it's got any brown spots, take those off, and cut up, dehydrate. It'll take longer to dehydrate obviously than the leaves because it is fatter, but all good nutritional stuff. You just chop it up like that, and then it's ready from your dehydrated tray and to be used in your cooking. So I'll come back and show you what these look like when they're dried. So that's the Swiss chard dehydrated. This is the blanched one, and this is the not blanched one. The texture is like really thin paper, and this is all now ready to go into the storage jar. Now, this took about 4.5 hours at 125 degrees. You can speed it up by flipping over halfway through the drying time. So after a couple of hours, just come and flip it over and it will dry a bit quicker. But it doesn't take long, and once it's dried, as you can see, easiest thing in the world. Just crumble it up when I do my video on powder making, you'll see how you can turn this then into a fine powder as well. But if you're going to be using it in soups and stews, this is perfectly fine. It's ready to go into the storage, and takes up far less space than the original, and has all the nutrition that you need in it already. And again, also very, very easy to crumble it up. It should be easy to crumble up if it's properly dried. And then you can see that bit there is not quite dried because it's not crumbling. It gives you an example of how dry it should be, what it should be when it's properly dried. And that bit just didn't dry, so I'll pop it in with something else a little later on. And there you go, that's your Swiss chard ready to go into your bottle like so, and store it away in your pantry. And whenever you're making soups or stews or mince or anything like that, add a bit. It's all good nutrition. And just to show you quickly also, let's pop that on there, so go into the same place, to just show you the stalks they're ready to go into the dehydrator now. I've just chopped them all up, laid them out like that, and they're ready to go into the dehydrator. So I'll show you a picture of that when it's done. Just to illustrate the space-saving advantages of dehydration, apart from its other nutritional benefits, this represents approximately 830 grams of Swiss chard, and it's been reduced to a weight of 29 grams and will fit into a bottle that size. Finally, just to show you the stalks from the Swiss chard that I've now dehydrated. That's what they look like, and not very appetizing, but full of nutrition and easy enough to add to all sorts of dishes to increase nutritional value. So there we are, that's Swiss chard.